Good evening. It is April 29th, and as we continue through a couple of videos here about the commemoration of the funeral train's passage, I just wanted to post tonight because tonight and tomorrow, so April 29th and 30th, are really, to me, the most significant, or maybe the most sentimental is a better word, periods of the, dates of the train's passing, because it was the night of the 29th going into the 30th when the train actually crossed from Ohio into Indiana. And I am a native Hoosier, so I like to say we claim Lincoln too. He grew up here, of course, but these two nights are pretty significant to me. And so I just wanted to share this night with you just for a few minutes here and talk about what was going on 161 years ago. So it is just about 10 o'clock Eastern time. So at this time, the train would have been west of Columbus, not quite to the Indiana border yet. They left Columbus about 8 p.m. And so they would have been a couple hours west at this point. And one of the interesting stories about this leg of the journey is the little town of Urbana, Illinois. Urbana, Ohio. It's late, but at Urbana, the townspeople had constructed an arch to go across the tracks. You might have seen depictions of that, and even at Stone Gables Estate, we have a replica of that as well that we use when we do the train commemoration. But so they built this big, beautiful, evergreen archway to go span the tracks, and the train would pass through, and just a big memorial arch, and all that was set and ready to go. And when the train got to Urbana, it was about a little before 11, I want to say maybe about a quarter to 11 at night. What the folks who had constructed the arch didn't realize was that it was too narrow for the train to pass through. So they had to deconstruct their beautiful memorial arch in order to allow the trains to pass through. So had to be a little bit of a disappointment probably to the folks that had worked on that and had come to see it and pay their respects to the train. But that's just another one of the little anecdotes that kind of, flavor this story, right? They're sprinkled everywhere on this journey of the funeral train, and they're the biggest reason that I wanted to start Lincoln Revealed. So Lincoln Revealed is our podcast that's actually going to launch tomorrow, the 30th of April, and it's not exclusively about the funeral train, although that will be a heavy through line through much of the podcast. It is not the sole focus. We really want to just dig into the lesser known stories, just the elements of Lincoln that we don't often hear about, maybe have never heard about, and they just make him more human. They just really kind of help us to see him as more of a, for lack of a better term, well-rounded person, right? Just more human, not marble statue Lincoln, and not just political Lincoln either, although that is certainly important and it was a huge part of his life, but it's not the only part. And so what we're striving to do with Lincoln Revealed is just, again, to dive deep into the stories that we may not know so well. And by doing that, we just understand him that much better and kind of, in a way, if it's possible, get a little closer to Lincoln. So that's the goal. And I would love to have you join us for the podcast. Like I said, we'll do the first episode, will air tomorrow. I'm actually going to post here about that first episode because it's going to be a little bit out of the ordinary, and we got a couple of kind of cool things planned for that launch episode, the inaugural. But we'll be trucking right along with all of that very soon. So excited about that, and it's always fun to share knowledge about Lincoln, but just as fun to learn things as we go. I mean, I learn things every day too about him, and it's great. And so I want to share all of that with all of you. And So we'll do that tomorrow. But tonight, again, just wanted to commemorate this passage from Ohio over into Indiana. Of course, they'll spend April 30th in Indianapolis. One of the public viewings was in Indianapolis. Heavy rains that day, and actually kind of had to redo a little bit of procession routes and things like that just because of all the rain and the mud. But we'll get into that a little later. For now, 161 years ago, again, the train was making its way toward the eastern Indiana border coming out of Ohio. So I thank you for stopping by and appreciate all that you do to support us in this journey of the funeral train and learning about Lincoln. And I will see you in the next video.